Hi, guys. So today we're going to be talking about analyzing dialogue and how to dig deeper with it. We have our quote identification test for the outsiders on Thursday. And so this is just a little lesson to kind of help you guys be more successful. So we'll be talking about we're going to introduce some tips to analyze dialogue better and kind of a process to do it. And our goal, our language target for it is we want to be able to do two things. We want to be able to contextualize the quote by discussing what's happening in the story, but to kind of like say where this quote's coming from. And then we want to interpret the quote by considering its connection to these deeper ideas. So these are the notes. You need to write down the underlined stuff. I have printouts for you if you were absent. Pause this right now if you need to write them down. Great readers can identify important lines or dialogue in a text and pull them apart in order to find a deeper symbolic meaning. That pulling apart is what's really important and how we can figure this out. Great readers think about not only what the characters say, but why the characters say specific thing. Because they know that dialogue can propel the action forward, it can reveal information about the characters, and it can lead a character to a decision. So you guys are at the stage in your lives as students where now, up until now, it's been a lot of like, okay, what does the text say? Now we're thinking, what does the text say, and why does that matter? All right, why did they say it that way? So when we want to do this for analyzing a quote, so you got to find the quotes. Then you got to think about what's going on in the story at that part. That's the context of it. Then you got to think about what the quote means, like on a deeper level. And finally, you got to consider how it affects the story, like what its impact is. So let's look at our first examples, guys. This was from our quiz the other day. Stay gold, pony boy, stay gold. Now, what's happening in that part of the story? And what does the quote mean? So you might say in that part that it happens immediately after the rumble, so the boys are emotional, and Johnny is saying his last words to Pony Boy and Dally. And then this is the thing he says right before he dies. So that's what's happening in the story. On the quizzes that I've seen so far, that's where a lot of us stop. We kind of just focus on the surface. But now let's talk about what does that quote actually mean. In class, we discussed how this is a reference to the Nothing Gold Can Stay poem that they read in chapter 5. And that poem was about how nothing lasts forever. So what Johnny's really saying is he's telling Pony Boy, you need to try and stay you. Just keep being you, Pony Boy, for as long as you can. Right? Stay gold. This is his advice to him. He wants to show how he cares and that he knows Pony Boy. And so he's kind of really revealing information about Pony Boy and about Johnny. So that's why we say it reveals character info. Now for the next one. Dally didn't die a hero. He died violent and young and desperate, but Johnny was right. Dally died gallant. Now, we talked in class about when in the story this takes place. So it is right after Dally was shot by the police. He robbed a store after Johnny died. The police chased him down, and he pulled out a gun, and the cops shot him. So this is Pony Boy reflecting after that. Now, we talked in class. There's a difference. So gallant means brave. You as a person might not think that what Dally did is brave, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about why does Pony Boy think that he's brave? So why does Pony Boy think that he's brave? So we talked a lot about how he kind of really admires and cares a lot about Dally, even though he kind of hates him too. He admires that Dally does what he wants and that he's not afraid. So Pony Boy thinks that Dally is gallant because Dally chose how he wanted to go out. He knew what the effect of taking a gun out during when police are around like that is going to be. But he went out. Dally lived his life by making his own choices and living with the consequences, and that's how he went out. So this quote reveals a lot of information about Dally. Now, all this writing that we have right here, this is what the students said in class. So now for the last two, what I want you to do is pick one of these and do this on your own. All right, actually do both of them. One for practice, and then one that you want to do really well so that you can show me that you have this skill. And I will check it in once you get back. Again, this was analyzing dialogue and lines, how to dig deeper. So thanks, everybody. And as always, have a wonderful life.